Hello and welcome to Heavy Cardboard, where we teach, play, and discuss medium and heavy strategy board games, war games, and 18xx. I am your co-host, Jess. Happy to be joined by...
Hi, I'm Edward.
As well as you all watching live and after the fact. Tonight, we are bringing you the Shores of Tripolia from Fort Circle Games, designed by Kevin Bertram. Remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell to be notified about upcoming streams. And if you like the content that we provide to you here, go ahead and pledge over at pledgehc.com, and you can join the Slack channel where we will continue the conversation about games like these, and you can join in. All right, without further ado.
Wow. All right, we're just going to get into it.
I want to play this game.
All right, hold on. Shores of Tripoli, though. Hold on. It's about the First Barbary War, right? And this has a special place in my heart because it's the Navy and the Marine Corps versus the Barbary pirates, right? Back around the turn of the 19th century. And for the Marine Corps hymn, you know, from the shores of Montezuma to the... really? Wow. To the shores of Tripoli. Let's try that again. Anyway, this is a big deal for the Marine Corps. This was a really big deal for kind of establishing what the Marine Corps was going to be about. Mm-hmm. And this is obviously a big deal with myself being a Marine. That's all. That's it. Yeah, and the only other thing before we get started, it comes with this historical supplement and designer notebook in here, which gives the details of, it's basically a much better Wikipedia than Wikipedia, and really a cool thing. And again, it's special to me, and that's all. Yeah. All right. All right, let's get into it. All right. So are you teaching or am I teaching?
You're teaching.
I'm teaching? Mm-hmm. All right, I guess I'm going to teach. All right, so without further ado, as you said, the Shores of Tripoli. Mm-hmm. All right. So, what is it we're looking at over here? Well, we have the main board, right? There are a total of 14 areas that are in play in the game. There are harbors. Harbors are the circles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then there are 5 areas of... total brain cramp. This is off to a great start.
You're fine. It's the naval areas.
Thank you. Yes, the patrol zones. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. All right. So there are 14 areas that are going to be in play. There is the U.S., so my side, supply, so pieces that may come into play. And then there is the Boo-Hiss, the Tripolitan.
Yes.
There you go.
Tripolitan.
The Tripoli's. Units.
Pirates!
Well. Yes, and the Barbary allies as well, all of theirs that can come into play as we go. Then we have the turn track. Turn track, 6 turns and 4 seasons. 4 seasons in a turn, total of 24 turns or 48 actions throughout the game in total. All right. In addition to that, we each have our supply of dice, which we are probably going to, at some point, need to borrow each other's dice because there's going to be a lot of die rolling in this game. So we have the Boo-Hiss Tripolitan dice, and then we have the U.S., Navy, and Marine Corps, and the Swedish, which apparently the Swedes were there to help, but never really kind of hooked up with the U.S. forces. So they weren't involved in a huge way from my understanding of the history of it. Then we have 12 gold coins.
Arg.
Right. Barbary pirates over there. So yes, the ARG comes into play here for sure. And then we each have our own individual deck of cards, as you can see. So we have my deck over here, which is headed here by Thomas Jefferson, and then Jess's, which I'm going to butcher his name, but it's Yusef. Go ahead.
Quaramanli?
Sure. Well done. Okay, see, I didn't have to butcher it. Excellent job. So that's everything that you're looking at out here. How does the game play? Well, the game takes place over, as I said, 6 rounds. Each round has 4 seasons or 4 turns, if you will. And each turn is going to be very simple. It's going to be the U.S. player is going to play a card and do something. And then the Tripolitan player, i.e. Jess, is going to play a card or discard a card and do something. Mm-hmm. And then there's going to be an end of season, which is boop, do it again. Do that 4 times over the course of a turn. Then at the beginning of, or at the course of a year. Then at the beginning of a subsequent year, we're going to draw cards, do it all over again, rinse and repeat for the first 4 years. So draw 6 cards at the beginning of a year, and then play a card, US first, Tripolitan second, and then advance the season. For the first 4 years, that's how that goes. At the beginning of 1805, what's going to happen is we are going to shuffle all of our discards, obviously individual decks, and then draw 6 cards. At the beginning of 1806, everything that's left in your deck you draw. There you go. Each of us has a hand limit of 8 cards. So you're going to draw 6 cards into your hand, plus any cards that are left over from previous turns, obviously not in the first turn, or in the first year, and then discard down, so you can discard saved cards, you can discard cards you just drew, whatever, and 8 cards, and then we begin the turn. So in a given turn, each player on their turn can do one of 3 things. They are asymmetric actions, so I want to walk through this specifically here as we go. The American player can play a card as an event. So each of our cards over here is going to have some written text on it, and we're going to be able to do it as the event. If the card has no, I'll do it this way so it's right side up for the camera. If there is nothing written in red at the bottom of the card, you play it as the event, you discard it. We're going to be playing this to where discards go face down. Makes it a little more strategic. You do whatever it says, discard it face down. However, if it has something that, like a lightning bolt on it, it says, if played as an event, this card is removed from the game. So you tear it up, throw it away, never to see it again. Or just discard it into the box. And that's that. And it's out of the game permanently for the remainder of the game. There are core events. Each player has 3 core events, and these core events do not count towards your hand limit. They are just face up, available to be played when they say they can be played. So for instance, starting at spring of 1804 here for Hamet's army created, etc., etc. If it doesn't have a specific time, then you can just play it as an event instead of playing a card from your hand. But when you do so, it's a one-time use, discard it out of the game permanently. Okay, easy enough there. So the American or the Tripolitan player can discard a card either from their hand or a core card, do it for the event, and then do whatever the event is. Easy enough?
Yes.
All right. Then, on the American player's turn, you can choose to, in lieu of playing a card as an event, you can choose one of your cards from hand and discard into a discard pile, not removed from the game, and do one of 2 things. For the US player, it is move any up to 2 frigates into any place on the board. Again, there are 14 locations. Harbors, or there are patrol zones, right? So I can move it to any of those. If there are no enemy pieces, nothing happens. So in other words, if I discard, say, that card at a play from my hand, I say I'm going to move 2 ships, or 2 frigates. I should point out there's a difference between frigates and gunboats, as well as frigates and corsairs. Corsairs and gunboats, it's a difference without, or a distinction without a difference. It's just a name. Discard a card, and I can move 2. I move, say, 1 there, and I move 1 there. There's no pieces there. Nothing happens. Boom, done. End of my turn. Easy enough, right?
Yes.
Now, I do not have to move any frigates, but if I choose to, I may, up to 2. As long as they're in play. Obviously, not over here for pieces that are going to come into play in subsequent rounds, or over here in supply, which are obviously not in play. But no matter where they are, I can move them wherever. However, if I move them to where there are pieces, so let's say I were to move it over here into Dern. When I do so, if there are only army pieces, which are the cubes here, then there's going to be a naval bombardment. It's going to be a one-sided battle. I get to hit and hopefully destroy those pieces. We'll go into detail on that in a little bit. Or if I go somewhere where there are ships, enemy ships, then we're going to have a naval battle. Pretty simple. Okay? There is going to be something special about the battle for Tripoli. That's going to be an endgame condition when we get there, but we'll talk about that more in detail in a little bit. The one exception to that is the location that is Gibraltar, because Gibraltar is kind of a safe space for both of us at the beginning of the game. So we cannot attack. We must coexist friendly because under the watchful eye of the British Empire here in Gibraltar. So that's going to be the only place in which we can coexist without having a battle. So play a card for an event, discard a card to move up to 2 frigates and either carry out a naval bombardment or a battle or do nothing, depending on what it is. The third thing is discard a card from my hand and build a gunboat into Malta. Pretty simple, all right? So those are the 3 available actions that I can do on my turn. Now, we'll go over those a little bit more in detail here in a minute, but as it is, those are the 3 actions I can take. After I choose to do one of those 3 actions, it then becomes the Boo-Hiss player's turn, i.e. the Tripolitan player's turn, Jess's turn. She can do one of 3 things. 1, play a card for an event. Again, exact same thing, okay, is me, except she has her own deck. So play a card either from her hand or from the core cards and either discard it or remove it from the game, depending on what the card actually says. Or she can discard a card to build a Corsair in Tripoli. So for me, building a gunboat in Malta. Okay. For her, it's building a Corsair in Tripoli. Exact same option. The third thing that she can do on her turn is she can discard a card and do a pirate raid. Okay? So, those are the 3 things that she can do on her turn. She takes her action, and then at the end of her turn, she's going to advance this, and then I'm going to do one of my 3. She will do one of her 3. Again, 1 and 1, and then there, 1 and 1. It's important to point out, you cannot pass if you have cards in your hand. And you're likely to have cards in your hand. So in other words, you're either going to play a card face up for an event or discard it in the way we're playing it face down to do one of those things that we said. At the end of this, we advance this. Any ships that are here will move, if they are blue, i.e. U.S. forces, they will move to Gibraltar. If there are any red ships, they will move into Tripoli. And then we will draw our 6 cards and then do it all, and this will reset, do it all over again. All right, so that's the core of the game. Now, you might be asking yourself, to what end are we doing this? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. There are a couple of different ways that each player is going to be able to win the game, all right? We're going to go ahead and start with the Tripolitan player first. The Tripolitan player will win if one of 3 things happens. There are 12 gold pieces here. If at any point the Boo-Hiss player acquires these 12 pieces of gold, they win immediately. If they acquire 11, that's not 12, the game continues. But the moment they get the 12th, game ends, Tripolitan player wins, and the Marines have failed. Not going to happen. We're not going to talk about our game earlier, but let's move on. The second way that the Tripolitan player can win is if they sink 4 of the U.S. frigates. Not gunboats, but frigates. Every time they sink a frigate, that Jess is going to take claim of each ship. The moment she has 4 of them in her possession off the board over here, Tripolitan player wins, the Marines have failed. Hopefully that doesn't happen. And the third way is if once Hamet's army comes into play, which is going to be these white cubes as well as the Marines, which are the blue cubes there. If at any point Jess defeats that army, she wins. And I guess there is a fourth way. When the Battle of Tripoli happens, if it happens, it's going to be a battle to the death. There's going to be a naval battle potentially, and then there's going to be a land battle or a ground battle. If at any point the U.S. player loses the naval battle because it's a battle to the death, U.S. player loses. Or if they fail to take Tripoli, they lose the game as well. All right, so that's how the Tripolitan player wins. However, The U.S. player, which really, that's what we're all really here for.
Really?
That's what we're pulling for, happens one of two ways. Capture Tripoli. What does that mean? It means have army cubes over here in Tripoli, which means all of the Tripolitan player cubes and armies have been defeated. That's going to be one way for the Battle of Tripoli when that comes down. Mm-hmm. The second way, and I will have to find the card, I apologize. If you want to show folks this, Jess, is to be able to play the Treaty of Peace and Amity. So basically what this means is we have gotten the Barbary and the Tripolitan pirates, if you will, to agree to an alliance, to a treaty that is in the U.S.'s favor. This is how things really went. However, all those conditions must be met to be able to do it. So first off, it has to be the fall of 1805 or later. Okay, obviously. The second thing is the cities of Algiers, Tangier, and Tunis are all at peace. All right, so what that means is there are no corsairs of the orange variety, which will orange corsairs go into the orange spaces, red corsairs go into red spaces. But there are no orange corsairs in any of those three locations. All right, so there's that. The next one is the city of Dern has been captured. So what does that mean? That means that not only are there no red army pieces in this space, but in fact, there must be some of Hamet's army in this location, meaning white/blue cubes in Dern, because that means that it has been captured by the U.S. and ally forces. And the last step is going to be if there are no Tripolitan frigates in the harbor of Tripoli. So what does that mean? That means if you take a look at Tripoli, Tripolitan frigates. Frigates are the larger ships right there. If there are none there in the harbor. If all 5 of those are in play, then I can, and this card is in my hand, I play it as the event. If that's the case, the game ends. And hey, good news, the U.S. wins. There you go. That's how the game goes. Now, let's go over a couple of things in detail, and then we'll get started. So, one of the actions that I can take is discard a card and move up to 2 frigates. I can move from any harbor or patrol zone to any harbor or patrol zone, unless it's event specific. It says move to into Dern, say, for instance, then you have to obviously do that. Otherwise, movement is up to 2 of my frigates and move them into a harbor or into a patrol zone. Easy enough, okay? On my turn as the active player, if I move frigates into any place that has enemy pieces outside of Gibraltar, meaning Dern, Benghazi, into Tripoli specific, then and only then, if I have ships here in Malta, if I have gunboats in Malta, then the gunboats just will automatically move in there if I want them to, and more than likely I'm going to want them to. There is not going to be a specific action that says move gunboats. If I move frigates into an area and there's either going to be a naval battle or a naval bombardment, then I'm allowed to take any existing gunboats in Malta and move them in. If I move ships to multiple places and I have multiple gunboats here in Malta, I can split them up however I wish to do so, if I wish to do so. That's me being able to move ships. That makes sense? Good, we'll move on. Now, first things first, let's say I go ahead and move one there, and you know what? I say I move one there. And I had already had a ship here, a gunboat in Malta. When I took that action by discarding a card, I say, hey, I'm also going to go ahead and move the gunboat there into Dern. What's going to happen now is naval bombardment. Naval bombardment is very, very simple. All right? I get to roll 2 dice per frigate and 1 die per gunboat in there. So 2, 4, 5. I get to roll 5 dice. Okay, cool. I roll 5 dice and I hit on 6s and 6s only. So in this case, I would get 2 6s. Jess allocates those hits. Army units take 1 hit to destroy. So in that case, both of them get destroyed. Both of those would come back to her supply, and then at the end of the naval bombardment, all the ships that were there moved back into Malta. Boom, done. That's naval bombardment. That happens when there are no ships in a location. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, easy enough. When there are no enemy ships, only army pieces, I should say. All right, cool. The next option is, and let's go ahead and say that Jess had gotten a couple of pirates out there, and getting back to our original example here, then I get to discard a card and I can move up to 2. I could do 2 frigates. Let's say I move 1 there, and let's say I move 1 here. Then there is going to be a naval battle here, and there's going to be a bombardment. This gunboat can move to either or none of those locations, but let's say I go ahead and bring it over there. Okay? Naval bombardment, we've already covered how that works. Okay, easy enough. So, let's say it were like that. The naval battle works very similar here, okay? As the active player, I'm allowed to move the gunboat in like I did. Then there are battle cards. Battle cards look a lot like these. If you want to show folks, Jess, that card. What a battle card is, okay, is you'll notice the crossed swords down at the bottom. That represents a battle card. If a battle card is in your hand and it's specific to what it is you're trying to do, which that one does not apply. Let me find a different one. A moment. How about this instead? Put that one on top. I play Preble's Boys Take Aim, playable during a naval battle in a harbor, which is exactly what's taking place here in Tunis. Okay? I may play a battle card. Jess may play a battle card if she so wishes. Okay? But barring that, if you'll switch it back for me, barring that, you can play battle cards if you wish. But whether you do or not, you either do what the battle card says, or in lieu of that, each player gets to roll dice. 2 per frigate, 1 per gunboat / corsair. In this case, I would get to roll 3 dice, Jess would get to roll 2. So Jess, if you would roll 2 dice, I get to roll 3. I hit on all 6s. That worked out well. Jess hits on all 6s. Well, guess what? Neither of us hit. But let's say I had 1 hit and both of these were 6s. I would inflict 1 hit, Jess would inflict 2 hits. That's simultaneous. What happens then is the recipient of the hits dictates where they take their damage. So I have 2 hits to allot to myself. In my case, I can either, a frigate takes 2 hits to destroy, a gunboat takes 1 hit to destroy. I could choose to say, okay, 1 hit kills the gunboat comes back into the supply, and the second hit will be the frigate. Okay? If I chose both to hit the frigate, then the frigate is sunk, and Jess is now a quarter of the way to winning the game, because remember, when she has sunk 4 frigates, that's the end of the game. Okay? However, as it is, I chose 1 on the gunboat and I chose 1 on the frigate. If the frigate takes a single hit, it's called damage, and then it's placed on the following year's track and will come back into play into Gibraltar at the beginning of the round. Okay? If I got a hit, then Jess chooses to sink 1 of those corsairs. If it's a frigate for Jess, then the exact same thing happens for her. It would go onto the track and it would come back out into Tripoli in the next year's turn. But as it is, it's just the corsair, 1 of those gets sunk, and that would be there. At the end of naval combat, then everything I have left that survived, or in this case it would have gone there, but provided it didn't get any hits, it would then come back to Malta. Okay? If we had a battle here in Tripoli, then Jess's ships would go back into Tripoli. That's going to be naval combat. Pretty simple there, right?
Yes.
Ground combat is going to be very similar to naval combat, but that is obviously cube on cube action. Okay? Ground combat only happens on certain American events. As I play cards, there's going to be, hey, move army into Dern and attack. As it happens, Hamet's army is going to get created in Alexandria, starting at the earliest of spring of 1804. Then I have a card that says I can move into Dern, and then we can have a land battle. Provided I survive that, then there's a card to move into Benghazi. Provided I survive that, then there's a card to go into Tripoli and game on. Jess also has a card that says game on there in Tripoli as well, okay? But as it is, ground combat, if there's any naval ships and only one side, hey, I get a free bombardment, right? Cool. Then we get to play battle cards if we so desire, and then we get to roll one die per cube. However many hits it takes, that's how many dice it gets. One die per cube, one die per gunboat, one die per corsair, two per frigate, right? Roll dice, hits on sixes. Rinse and repeat until one side's dead. That's the difference with ground combat versus naval. Naval is one round. Unless it's for the Battle of Tripoli, then it's a battle to the death. Otherwise, army land battles are battles to the death. One side's going to get removed permanently. Well, going to get removed from the game. If it happens to be the U.S. player, game over. All right. Then there's going to be the Battle of Tripoli, okay? This is only initiated by one of my cards that says the Assault on Tripoli. When that happens, there will be naval combat first, and that's going to be to the death. If the U.S. player loses that, game's over. At the end of that, frigates get returned to the supply. Then if any American ships survive, because it's a battle to the death, that means there will be no Tripolitan ships left. I get to do a naval bombardment. At the end of that, one round of naval bombardment, the ships then bug out to Malta, and then there's going to be a battle to the death for land battle. Winner of that wins the game. Easy enough? Mm-hmm. All right. The last thing we need to talk about is the action that Jess is going to be taking early and often, and that is pirate raids. Mm-hmm. Pirate raids. How does she do it? She discards a card from her hand, and she says, hey, I'm going to raid. Okay, cool. So, if she does so, it must come from Tripoli, unless it's a specific card that says she can do so from Tunis, Algiers, or Tangier, or she plays this, and she can do that from all of them.
Yes.
But let's just say she says, hey, I'm going to raid, playing a regular card, discard it face down, and she's going to raid Tripoli. Well, first and foremost, if there are any U.S. or Swedish ships in the patrol area. So, for instance, let's say there was that and that there. Jess says she's going to raid. Well, I get to do what's called an intercept. I have frigates. They roll 2 dice per ship. I roll 4 dice, and I sink on 6s. Getting all this out of my system right now, I miss on all of that. For every hit, Jess would lose one of her ships.
Yes.
That's there in Tripoli. But as it is, I missed. So then, Jess gets to roll 1 die per ship. So go ahead, roll. She succeeds on 5s and 6s for a pirate action. All right, so she had 1 success. She gets a coin for every success. She gets 12 coins, game over, she wins by cheating. All right.
Stealing.
Yeah, fair enough. There you go. Okay, now, the other thing that I failed to mention is after the interception, but before she rolls, if she has any battle cards that she wants to play that apply, she can play battle cards that boost her pirating. The end. So there you go. So again, take turns, play cards, one of us wins. The end. That's how you play Battle of Shores of Tripoli. Any questions? No? Good. All right. Was it 2 or 3 there?
3.
3? All right, good.
Yep.
And that comes back here.
And that goes over there. That's it.
All right. So, place your bets now. Full disclosure, Jess cheated. No, I'm kidding.
Just stole
She
lots
stole
of gold.
lots of gold.
I'd say you helped a little bit.
She has a card that if the Swedish frigates are out here, she can basically just extort 2 gold from it, and I had 2 gold left, and she played that, and I did poor. So, that's how she won.
It was
so,
very
full
epic.
disclosure,
It was fantastic.
I don't think fantastic means what you think it means.
I think it does.
I disagree.
Rocky had the best joke about it's really not the Swedish people, the Swedes' fault. It's just that they got lost in like kitchenwares and, you know, all the
IKEA.
different
I
areas
gotcha,
that
yeah.
trying to get there and they couldn't make it out.
Fair.
It's just,
all right. Well, I'm going to shuffle my cards every day. Hey, you're running a stream, so all I did was teach. So how many over-unders? Glory to Realms.
Yeah, there's definitely some that could get
Potential
into
here,
this.
yes,
Yeah,
I
there's
agree.
some potential in this. What do y'all think? I'd say over under 6.
And a half.
And a half?
Yeah.
With the half? Always with the half.
Well, that way it always
Gives
is
them a
going to be
little-
over or under.
Sure.
Right? So that's all.
Oh, was it Goose? Was it you? I thought it was.
Oh,
Oh,
apparently
sorry,
it was-
Goose Sereno. I'm sorry. You win the
Wow.
trophy. My bad.
Wow. Came out strong on
Yes.
that.
Hey, he's right. It was a really funny joke. I mean, it was like trophy worthy. I'm not going to cut. You're fine.
Well, I'm
trust
going to cut.
You're not cheating.
Okay.
I'm good with what I have right
All right.
there.
All right. So we begin. Place your bets. The nasty Tripolitans or Marine Corps. I do find it somewhat amusing. There are 4 Marine Corps cubes there. All of these
Is that
naval
because that's
things.
all you need?
Oh, you betcha.
Is that's what you're going for
Damn
there?
Skippy.
It's all you need.
Damn
It's just
Skippy.
4.
Oh, yeah.
But they didn't do so well last time.
In real life is what we're talking about.
Plan better?
And roll better, clearly. Whew. All right. So we draw 6 cards to begin the game.
I am excited. I hope it is as epic as our earlier play.
I hope the end result is different, but yes,
so
I agree.
epic.
I agree with the epicness.
It was really exciting at the end.
All right.
So,
Yeah, she actually stood up and cheered.
I did. It was really
kidding.
exciting. I was like, yeah, I won.
Okay. All right.
It was great. You might see a little bit of that.
Kevin's here. I see. Kevin says the U.S. is a plus 175 underdog. I love you, Kevin. Thank you. So in other words, you'd have to bet 100 to win 175 on the U.S. I'm the underdog. You're the favorite. All right. Checks out, Kevin. Obviously, your reputation precedes you here. All right. So, yeah, unfortunately, we will show you guys, all you folks, our card plays as we go along, but you're not going to be able to see the cards.
Yeah, because it would be.
But I do think it's important maybe we go over what's in front of us for our core cards. Jess? Mm-hmm. Hashtag poker face. I saw that. All right. I'll go ahead and start with mine.
I don't know what you're talking
and then while Jess oogles her cards. Here we go. Hamet's army created. Okay. So that's who we're trying to put into power over here. Okay. So playable if it's the spring of 1804. So at the beginning of 1804, then I can play this card. If I have a frigate, at least one, in Alexandria. Place 1 Marine and 5 Arab infantry units in the city of Alexandria. That's going to be the beginning of me being able to start fighting land battles. Okay? So it can't happen until the spring of 1804. When that happens, it gets thrown out of play. The Swedish frigates arrive. Place 2 Swedish frigates in the naval patrol zone in Tripoli. All they are going to be doing is apparently getting just 2 coins eventually.
Yes.
And they will be intercepting any pirating that goes on here. Okay. And then any of these cards, when you play them, go out of play. Then old Tom here, Thomas Jefferson, move up to 8 American frigates and resolve any battles that result. 8. But again, one-time use. All right, you go for it. What are yours? While I look at my cards.
Okay, so I have Constantinople sends aid playable if Hammer's army has captured Dern. So we know that that can't happen until after 1803 when his Hammer's army card comes out. But then I can place 1 Tripolitan frigate and 2 Tripolitan corsairs in the harbor of Tripoli and place 2 Tripolitan infantry units in the city of Tripoli. So that's exciting. Then I have Murad Race Breakout. Move the 2 Tripolitan corsairs from the harbor of Gibraltar to the harbor of Tripoli. Any American frigates in the naval patrol zone of Gibraltar may first make an interception roll.
And it's important to point out, they are currently in the harbor. They are not in the patrol zone.
Yes.
So if Jess is able or chooses, maybe as her first action of the game, if I haven't moved any ships out here, she could be like, bloop,
Boop.
and get them out. That's the only time, to the best of my knowledge, that's the only time that her ships will ever be here. So that's important to point out. Okay?
And then I have Yusuf Karamanli, pirate raid with the Corsairs from the harbor of Tripoli and the Corsairs from the harbor of each active ally. And they're active when they have Corsairs in them. So Algiers, Tangier, and Tunis, if I have Corsairs out there, I could pirate raid with all of them.
With the caveat that if I have any ships out here, obviously I'll get to intercept. And then Jess dictates the order in which those happen.
Yes.
All right. So, good luck, ma'am. Okay. And away we go. So I had a decent draw, legitimately. I had a decent draw. I had some stuff that wasn't fantastic for me right now. And then it becomes a discussion, internal monologue, of do I discard cards that I'm not going to be able to see until 1805? Because remember, this is when you shuffle up all your discards into your draw deck because your draw deck's been exhausted, and then you get to go through them again.
Yeah.
So in other words, anything you discard, you're not going to see again until here, and then anything left over in your draw deck, you actually get to draw into your hand here too. So keep that in mind.
If you make it that far.
Damn. All right. So here we're gonna play over there. So that's gonna be my first play. I am choosing to play early deployment as the event. It does not have anything listed on the bottom of the card, so this is going to go into my discard card. It says take one American frigate from the following year on the year turn track and place it in any naval patrol zone. All right, so this I'm going to go ahead and take from 1802 and put it right there.
Did you learn a lesson there?
I have learned a lesson
there. Was there something? Yeah.
So this, now discards are going to go, you know what? This way y'all can see them. I'll go behind chat a little bit and there. That'll be my discards, and that way we don't get them.
On the other side. Huh? Yeah, I can do the other side.
Yeah,
that seems good. I will mirror you.
Okay, there we go. It is now your honor. So again, I'm just, while you're thinking, there are 3 options for Jess. Play a card as an event, discard a card to put a Corsair into Tripoli, or pirate.
Oh, there's so much. And
I could have, instead of playing it as an event, I could have discarded to move 2 frigates anywhere, up to 2, or build a gunboat into Malta. I'm done. I'll shut up. Go ahead.
You're going to let me do this? I'm just teasing you.
All right.
Okay.
What do we got?
Tripoli acquires Corsairs. Place 2 Tripolitan Corsairs in the harbor of Tripoli. I am playing it as an event. So as it shows here, if played as an event, this card is removed from the game.
And T-Rex arms. So
yep, you got
we
this.
Go.
Thank you.
So that is 1 into Tripoli and 1 into Tripoli. There we go. We will never see that card again. A moment of silence for the card.
Aww.
Okay, done. So now, whoop.
Summer.
Winter, spring, summer, fall.
Watch out, we got to stop there. We're going to get copyright. What are you going to do?
You got a friend. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's definitely going to come into play. Oh, man. This is tough.
And Edward says, I like the fact that the deck has a small number of cards and you can really mentally keep track of the important cards and when they might be useful. It's so true. I agree.
And that right there is the rub as to why you play them either face up, you discards face up or face down. If I did it face down, so let's say I just decide to take an action, discard this face. She doesn't know, Jess doesn't know what I'm discarding.
Yeah.
Otherwise it would be face up, so it becomes a little less strategic. I think this is more clever.
Yes.
I like it better this way, personally. Oh, you know what we can do?
What?
We can show the camera.
What's being discarded?
Yeah, like I'll look away, you look away, and they'll know. I like that. Okay. Okay. I am going to discard a card face down, so there, I'm discarding that. If you know the game, then that'll help you.
Did you orient it the right way?
We're good. I did. No, sort of. Not really. All right. So I'm going to discard a card, and I'm going to move 2 frigates. And I will move 1 from Gibraltar into Tripoli's patrol harbor. And it's so nice, we're going to do it twice. Now, I could have moved that one. I could have moved right, or I could have moved less than, but either way, I'm done. How many of y'all out there have played this or are familiar with it? If you're an experienced war gamer, this is going to be a beer and pretzels. If you're not a war gamer, I think there's still a lot here to offer. A lot, honestly.
I'm going to go ahead and do my mirrored risk breakout.
Okay, so read it.
That is going to move the 2 Tripolitan Corsairs from the harbor of Gibraltar to the harbor of Tripoli. You do, your American frigate does get to make an interception roll.
A moment. I elect to not play anything.
Okay.
So here we go. Excellent. See, the rolls are continuing on. So I failed. I didn't roll a 6. So these 2 now are joining the party.
Woot woot.
I don't think that means what you think it means.
It is now fall.
It is. Oh, beautiful time of year. September. Wonderful. Okay. Yep. Let's go ahead and play the Swedish frigates. Arrive. Place 2 Swedish frigates in the naval patrol zone in Tripoli. Okay, done. And that's out of the game.
Okay.
Beer and pretzels just is reference to just like a lighter, like something you can have beer and pretzels with and sit around and have fun with type
absolutely.
thing. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to discard, look away.
Go ahead.
Okay, where am I? Oh, okay. So I am discarding this card.
What card was
it? Yeah, that one. And
there you go.
I am going to pirate raid in Tripoli.
All right.
Shocker.
So now
I am also going to play a battle card with that.
After I roll is how that works.
I'm just announcing.
Understood. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 frigates, which scares me. That's 8 dice. I hit on 6s. Come on, blue dice.
I mean, 4 should be Swedish and 4 should be.
You know what? I stand corrected. You are 100% because we want to give credit where credit is due.
Yes.
That is a good
Or
point.
no credit where no credit is due.
Well,
1.
leave it to the Navy to drop the ball like this. So one of these, so technically, one will die. However, you're going to play a battle card. Go ahead. And you want to switch to it when you do.
Yes. So I'm going to play Happy Hunting, playable when making a pirate raid with Tripolitan Corsairs. Roll 3 additional dice.
Okay. So this, it doesn't matter which one. I don't think she has a preference unless there's specifically somebody on board that she didn't want to pass. So there we go. So now how many
7.
do you get to roll? Plus your 3.
Oh, so I need 2 more.
Here, I would like you to choose.
I want the Swedish.
Yeah, good, because I'm not giving you Navy dice. I'm sorry.
They won't come over to my side.
They will
You never
not.
know. I'm very persuasive.
All right, so 1 die per Corsair, plus you played Happy Hunting, so you get 10, and Pirating is on 5s and 6s. Oh, good God.
1, 2, 3. And then I am going to play again.
All right, go ahead, play it.
All right, so I get to play if a Tripolitan pirate raid has just been successful. Place 1 Tripolitan Corsair in the harbor of Tripoli. So that
Okay, so after the fact. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, so here you go. 1, 2, 3. And the one I killed
came right back.
came right back.
I told you I was persuasive.
Now, both of those are out of play, though, correct?
Yes, if played as a battle, they're both out of the game.
By the way,
yes.
I would like to say that none of these hit.
I mean, they were busy at IKEA. I understand. They picked up some supplies for me, helped out. It's fine. I got a frying pan out of it. It's good.
The T-fall. All right. So we're into winter now. All right. All right. All right. So I am going to play this card. So if you want to zoom in on that. Congress authorizes action. Place 2 American frigates on the following year of the turn track. Okay, cool. So I will do so. Go ahead.
Fine then.
That seemed like a good time to do that.
Yeah, it's fair. Last turn.
And that also, I should point out, is out of the game as well.
Okay, because you played as an event.
Yep. Oh,
sure.
That was
I
nice.
shall do.
Ew.
The Philadelphia runs aground. Playable if there is at least 1 American frigate in the naval patrol zone of Tripoli.
Checks
there
out.
is. Roll 1 die and apply the results. So if I roll a 1 or a 2, there'll be minor damage and you'll move an American frigate to the harbor of Malta.
Okay.
3 and a 4, the frigate is sunk, and that will come over to count towards my 4. And 5 or 6, the frigate is captured. Take the American frigate as sunk and place 1 Tripolitan frigate in the harbor of Tripoli.
So we just want a 1 or a 2. Got it. All right.
Oh, anything but. Yes.
This is gross.
Awesome.
All right. So you go for it. You run it.
Not only did I sink you and you come over here, but
You sank my battle frigate.
Yes.
And that comes, where was it? Is it into the
yes.
harbor? Or?
Frigate into the harbor of Tripoli.
Okay, so that's going to move into there.
Which means I can also pirate raid with that.
No, only Corsairs.
Or Corsairs?
Only,
oh, you're right. That's why it always says Corsairs.
Yes.
I wanted more dice.
All right, so that's out of the game. But
It is.
Thank God. Well, that was a terrible first year. All right, so that's the end of the year. Mm-hmm. All right, so we go back to spring. Go for it. Run it.
Okay, so this is going to go over here, and you can go ahead and take those 2 ships. It's fine.
Back there.
It's fine. It's all good.
All right, so now, whatever cards we have left in hand, I have 3.
I have 1.
Okay, and now we're going to draw 6 cards each on top of that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That puts me at 9, which means I have to discard down 1 card. Okay? No. Old Tom there only has 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's American ships, not Swedish. When those come into play, because the 8th one was sunk already. So there's that. Okay, that's good. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Oh God. Oh, this hurts. I hate doing it, but the card I'm going to discard, look away, I'll do it right side up for the camera, is going to be that card. Okay, that's what I'm discarding into my discard. And now I'm down to 7, so Jess, when you get down to yours.
I was already.
Oh, were you? Okay, all
all set.
right, so it's my turn.
And you're down to 8, right?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. I think it's going to be that. Okay, if you'll show folks. A little naval movement. Move up to 4 American frigates. Resolve any battles that result. Battles are naval bombardment or naval combat. All right, so, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go 1 there for sure. I'm going to go 1 there for sure. I'm going to go 1 there. And I'm actually going to go 1 there. Give me just 1 second.
What is he up to?
Hold on. Give me 1 second. No, seriously, hold on. Okay. Yeah. It was the neighbor.
I know.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to have 2 battles, or well, there's going to be 2 naval bombardments there. Okay. So naval bombardments are pretty simple. I get to roll 2 dice per frigate. So 2, 4, and 2 individually. So I will go ahead and roll the first 4.
Hold on a second.
Oh.
Because I'm going to play a battle.
No, unless
At the start of a land battle, or no?
It's not a land battle.
Okay.
This is a naval bombardment.
Oh, you're right. Naval bombardment.
So we'll do Dern first. So it's going to be rolling 4 dice, killing on 6s.
No 6s.
There's 1.
Okay.
All right. So one of them dies.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you have a preference?
No.
Okay.
I love them both.
All right. So there, and then after they're done, they have to bug out back to Malta. Okay. And then we will switch out to the successful die and the other die. I only get 2, so let's just roll a little boxcar action here. Ooh, I'll take it. That's 1.
No.
Boop. And bugs out back to Malta. That is the end of my turn, if I may have that card. And note that it does not have anything on the bottom, so it's just a standard discard. Your honor, ma'am.
Interesting.
Is all this making sense? You all able to follow along?
Yeah. I'm going to... Algiers declares war. I'm going to place 3 Algerian corsairs in the harbor of Algiers. So 3.
At least it's out of the game.
It is.
So, all right.
3 of the orange corsairs.
Boom. So now, if Jess pirates, like with there, she can pirate there and there. Right?
Or there's cards that can just let me do it in Algiers.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's definitely very straightforward, but yet so much strategy of like, what does he have in his hand? What is he up to? What do I want to maybe misdirect towards? A lot of thought.
I don't know. No.
This is what I was doing earlier. I was kind of like, not this one, not this one. I'm going to do this one.
I gotta save that because of that.
Okay, so burning question is, what 3 flavors would Tripolitan ice cream be? I love this. And it would be pistachio,
God, thank you for
piracy,
that.
and plundering.
Yes.
So I can't say pistachio unless I think about it. Otherwise, I just say pistachio. It's just how my brain knows the word.
Yeah, I have to.
What are you gonna
I feel
do?
like I'm back on my heels a little bit, but I'll play that. All right, so I'm going to play a show of force. Move 3 American frigates from anywhere on the board, obviously, to a harbor of an active ally in Tripoli. In this case, is going to be Algiers. Return all of the corsairs from the harbor to the supply. All right, so switch it back.
What? What?
All right, so these 3 are going to come on over, and y'all ain't got to go home, but you damn sure ain't staying in Algiers.
Wait.
So Algiers is now back at peace. It was a very short-lived declaration of war, and they will come back out there. And because it's not just a regular discard, boom, done. Your honor.
Well, do I want to go there? Okay. That does help me make up my mind.
Uh-oh.
Playing an event. Well, since you did that, then Tunis will declare war. Place 3 Tunisian corsairs in the harbor of Tunis, please.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So, you know what? Those are Algerians. So the Tunis will come out now. All right, there you go. The Tunisians. All right.
They said you sent
They're in
us
the wrong
home.
spot.
Yes.
Okay.
You sent us home, but we came back. It's whack-a-mole.
So that's exactly how it feels. You ain't lying.
Come get me.
But you know what you're
It's
not
fall
doing
now,
by this is
right?
you're not. Yeah, it's now fall. Is you're not.
Not
you're not
yet.
fair. All right, I'm going to play this. Go ahead. Bainbridge supplies intel. Take any card from the American discard pile and either place it in hand or play it immediately. Well, you can actually go and hang out right there. And I'll go ahead and play
Oh,
a show of force
on.
with 3 American frigates. What you can do, I can do. Here. There we go. And as I said, you ain't got to go home, but you ain't staying in Tunisia. And Your Honor, ma'am.
Well,
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do. Okay.
all right. So I am going to discard. I will show.
Oh,
them
yeah, go ahead.
Because
Go ahead.
I'm discarding. Yeah. This is hard for me. Short. Okay. So I'm discarding this card. Face down. And I'm going to pirate raid.
Okay. If I may have my cards that are discarded over there, please.
Hold on a second.
Sure.
Okay.
Those 2 cards.
Yeah.
All right, so these just go straight back into the discard pile. Now, I have an interesting dilemma here. I know I'm going to have to discard down because I only get to play 1 more card. So I think it makes sense for me to go ahead and play a battle card for this, for the interception here. Playable when making an interception roll, which clearly I'm about to. Each American frigate may roll 3 dice instead of 2. Okay. And that's out of the game. So this one, out of the game. So it's going to be 3, 6 American dice and 2, 4 Swedish, yeah. And I succeed on 6s. And remember, these take 2 hits, but Jess gets to decide where all those hits go. Check that. I am not hitting the frigate. This is only for the Corsairs, so the frigate can't take hits because I'm intercepting the Corsairs that are going out. Oh, that was a good roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits.
So I can't take the hits on the frigate?
Let me double check. Let me double check.
Okay.
That I'm not sure on. So a moment for pirate raids here. Corsairs only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the Corsairs.
Okay. What does my frigate do?
It's going to be for the Battle of Tripoli.
Okay.
To protect it from dying.
Okay.
Or trying to kill my guys, which will win you the game if you are able to.
Okay.
So now that that's done, you get 3
I do.
And you succeed on 5s and 6s.
Okay.
And Kevin clarifies. Well, there you go.
2.
And Kevin clarified that, nope, the frigate does not pirate raid. So, all right. Okay. And now... So now I have 4 cards instead of 5. That's why I chose to play that card. I was going to have to discard it. And now I will go ahead and play that. Naval movement. Again, I have multiples of these. Move it to 4 frigates. Resolve any battle results. Okay, easy enough. So we're going to go 2 there, 1 there, 1 there. May I have the card, please? And there's going to be a naval bombardment in each. We'll do this one first, then this one. So that's 4 dice. I need 1 6 to kill the unit that's out there. 1 success here. He did. And then 4 dice. Needs 1 success for that. Whiff. Everybody comes back home. And I'm done for 1802.
Troops to Dern. Playable if Hamer's army has not yet captured Dern, which you have not. Place 2 Tripolitan infantry in the city of Dern. So.
And there we go. All right. All right. End of the year.
Uh-huh.
Boop. 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 Okay. Draw 6 cards. And yeah, there are 12 cards left. I have 3 left over, which means I'm going to discard 1. How many do you have left over?
3.
So look down for a second, because I'm gonna kind of walk through this. So I have 2 cards that are bona fide discard candidates. This one, because it's just a card, and this one, you can see, right? I'm going to discard that one, though. Okay. And I think I have 8. Let me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8. I'm good. And you have to discard 1 as well, right?
I'm getting there.
No rush. No rush.
Yeah.
I'm hating them not getting any of my gunboats out yet, but...
Okay. Yeah. This is what I'm going to do.
Go ahead. I'm not... you're good.
So I'm discarding this one. Okay.
All right. Man, I hate having to, quote-unquote, waste actions. I'm going to discard this card here, to move 2 frigates.
I love that they're just chilling in Malta. Malta's just like the chill zone.
It is a wonderful place. I was there in 95,
yeah,
I think.
Malta's
so, yeah.
really chill. Just hang out.
So we're going to go 1 in Dern. You know what? No, we're not. We're going to go 1 to Alexandria. And we're going to go 1 down in there. The reason I moved the 1 in Alexandria, and this is clearly open info. So starting the first turn in 1804, I'll be able to put the army out if I have at least one frigate out there. So, okay, done. Have a good one, Jonathan.
I'm going to play my favorite. The Sweden plays Tribute, playable if it's 1803 or later, and there are Swedish frigates in the naval patrol zone of Tripoli. Return the Swedish frigates to the supply and receive 2 gold coins out of the game.
Damn Swedes. 1, 2.
I like them.
To the supply, it said, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Where they get to watch the rest of the game from up there.
Summer.
I'm okay with that. Okay. So I have 3 cards that I have to play. I don't... Okay, there's 1, there's 2, there's... It's going to be those 3. And then I'm going to have to discard down... Oh, good Lord, this is brutal. The discarding in this game is as painful as anything else.
But remember, 1805, we get them back. You're going to be okay. If we get there.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you get there. Ooh. All right, so I am going to, all right, look down.
Thank you, Jonathan.
I'm going to discard this card to be able to move 2 frigates. And we're going to just go after Dern. So I'm going to roll 4 dice, do a little naval bombardment.
Okay, wait a minute. What are you doing? You're going over.
Yeah.
I
need
do
6s.
Something. Fight you. No! So close.
Swing and a miss.
So far.
And they bug out back to Malta.
Whoosh. We heard something, but...
Yeah. Bloosh. Bloosh.
All right. I think I want to do something really fun.
Fun isn't probably good for me.
Okay. Tripoli attacks.
Oh, God.
Move all Tripolitan frigates and corsairs from the harbor of Tripoli to the naval patrol zone of Tripoli. Resolve the battle against the American frigates in the patrol zone. There are no Swedish there, but they wouldn't participate if they were. I will be playing a battle card.
All right. I didn't anticipate this. I elect to not play a battle card, so go ahead. Oh, you want to show the battle card too? Sure, yeah, go for it.
So okay. I will be playing also
good God.
The Guns of Tripoli. So during the naval battle, I will also be able to roll additional 12 dice.
I'm sorry, how many was that?
12. So, yes. 12 on top of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 17 dice, please.
You can move your own ships out there.
They're coming out. Hi, but we're bigger than we appear.
So how many do you have
8.
there?
I need another 9. That's another 8, right?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, that's 16. 17. I told you I was persuasive. Even the Navy's joining my side.
As long as she doesn't get 4 hits, I'm okay. 6s only.
This one.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Really?
Yes. 1,
Okay.
2, 3,
now
4.
it's and really, you traitor. Glory to Rome.
We got a glory to Rome.
All right, so now I get the swing though. I get 4. Oh, that was debilitating.
Eee, that was fun.
Roll over, will ya? Glory to Rome for that, too. Put it on the
Okay,
board.
all right.
Trade or die.
Trade or die.
That die doesn't get used. It sits there in infamy forever. The Swedish,
Ostracized.
I just don't care about the Swedish. Like, you know
They've
what?
been great to me. I really like the Swedish.
You know what? You're right. Here, you can have them. To hell with them. Screw
I
'em.
think they're on my side. All right, so 4. There you go.
2 hits there, 2 hits there.
Back to. Oh, right, they're sunk, so they're mine. Oh my gosh. I'm so close. Someone's very close.
And those bug out back to Tripoli.
Yep, back into my harbor. Hanging out.
Wait. Tripoli
Guns are
played
here.
illegally. Why?
Oh, really? I don't know why.
Hold on. During a naval battle.
In the harbor of Tripoli.
No, I disagree.
If played during the assault on Tripoli, but this isn't assault on Tripoli, this was Tripoli attacks.
Switch back to the camera. Let's see.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea.
All right. So first off was Tripoli attacks. Move all Tripolitan frigates and corsairs from the harbor of Tripoli to the naval patrol zone. Resolve the battle against the American frigates in the patrol zone. Okay. Then, because it's a naval battle, you may then play playable during a naval battle in the harbor. No, that's... Oh, you're right.
Oh, I can only respond with that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Oh, it's a response card. Okay, so that can't come out.
So let's refight it, I guess.
Yeah.
I missed, so I would just say that you get to just roll yours.
Which is 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right. So
Okay.
switch over.
Coming.
So hold on a moment.
Okay.
Good call. Good call.
Good call.
So
All right.
all of these are out here, so it's just 5 on my 4. So she's just going to roll her 5.
Okay.
And she
Nothing.
missed.
Nothing. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
No, good catch, Peanut Gallery.
Yes,
well done.
that was
well
a
done.
really, really good catch. Okay.
So at the end of a naval battle, I go back to Malta. That's the other benefit for her, for Jess doing that, is there and there. So at least she didn't sink them.
That's fair.
There we go. But everything is
Is
hanging
back
out up
there in
Yep,
Malta.
good call.
Okay.
Good call. Yes, and now I know she has that card, but I'm not. Yeah, whatever. All right. So that was fall, correct?
Yes.
So we are into winter.
Winter. Yep.
All right. Ooh. A moment. I think we're in fall. How many cards do you have left?
6.
Yeah, I think we're starting fall. Because that means we played 2 each.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2, play 2, that would leave me 4 of the 8. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep, okay. So, yeah, I think I have to do this. I'll play that, Jess. All right, Constantinople demands tribute. The Tripolitan player must return 2 gold coins to the supply. Thank you very much.
Wow. No.
And that goes in discard. Thank you. Your honor, ma'am. Ooh. And by the way, that's still going to stay in shame. I don't care. So Gooserino and Kevin, thanks for the catch. And yeah, here, this just in, the Tripoli card that Jess has in her hand, she either has it in her hand now or she's about to have it in her hand next turn, so I don't think that's really any big info. It's probably not one that she's likely to discard because it's so powerful. And the threat of it keeps me kind of behaving myself around Tripoli and not invading it.
This is a really tough call.
Oh, hi, Lincoln. Hi, bud. Hi. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's not just what cards to play, it's what cards to hold on to, right? That's brutal.
So Morocco declares war. Place 3 Moroccan corsairs in the harbor of Tangier.
All right. So 3 Moroccan. Whoop. There we go. Okay.
And now we are in winter.
Correct. All right. So now, hey, let's move some ships. Up to 4 of them. Okay. Done. 2, 3, 4. You all right there, bud? All right. Thank you. That goes in discard. Bombard, bombard. We'll start with the Benghazi. So it's going to be 2, hitting only on a 6. Whiff. You go back home. And those 2 get retired. And 4. Hit one of them. So that then comes out there. And back they go. Done. Hey, Robert says the game definitely feels bigger than it looks, more meat than expected. Yeah, but it's super simple as far as mechanisms, and it flows really, really well. And by the way, if you need, although I'll be honest, I don't think we really need them too much, there is a player aid on BGG that is pretty helpful, but go for it.
I am going to play Yusuf Karamanli.
All right, here we go.
So I'm going to pirate raid with the corsairs from the harbor of Tripoli and the corsairs from Tangier. And you shall
intercept. Do you want me to intercept first, or which do you want to do?
Okay. So yeah, it doesn't really matter because you can't intercept over there. So you go ahead and intercept.
On 6s, I succeed. Wall.
Okay. Hold on. So I also have this card to play. I was waiting for you to intercept. So playable after any interception roll that includes an American frigate. Randomly draw 1 card from the American player's hand and place the card in the discard pile.
Glory to Rome.
Are those good cards you have? You might have saved some good ones and discarded
Now,
ones.
Jess doesn't get to see it,
No.
but y'all do.
It's probably something you don't want to discard.
Well,
at this
obviously,
point.
I don't want to discard.
Waiting to winter seems like a good plan.
Okay, all right. So if you'll look away, it was that one, which legitimately is probably the worst card that you could have gotten me to discard. So well done.
I like that.
So,
all right, so this
3
is
dice,
out.
3 dice. Which one's first?
Tripoli, because interception.
all right.
And 2, please, back to me. Right out.
Well
It slipped
done.
out of my fingers. Okay. And now Tangier. And 3!
Oh, come on! Glory to Rome.
Yay!
5.
That was amazing! Arg.
Come on, man. All right. Thankfully, it's the end of the year, though.
It is.
Last 6 cards get drawn into our hands. That comes into Gibraltar. Wow, that changes things. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
That was a good roll.
You think? 3. Look at that. All 3. What?
Yep.
Somebody run the numbers on that.
Oh, yes. That's what I need. This is so good. Oh, good. Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I'm glad I remembered.
Okay. Can't do that.
Wait,
one.
so I have 10? Oh, I gotta discard 2 of these? No.
I have to keep that.
I think this is going.
2. Three, 4, that gets discarded.
Oh, no, I think that's the one I get rid of.
Ugh, this is brutal. 6, 7, 8. This is okay. Look, keep focused on what you're focused. It makes this card moot now. I will figure out how to get this. There we go.
Okay, I need that. Yeah.
Because that last line. So that's getting discarded.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Yep, I'm good with that.
Go ahead.
So
Yep.
show it where.
Yep, I'll drink some tea.
I am discarding these.
Okay, the obvious play would have been Hammond's Army created right here.
Oh, and this was out.
Yeah, oh, thank God, yes. But the problem is, if Jess raids on either of these and gets 2 coins, the game's over. So I can't do that right now, which stalls me, which is terrible. So I think...
Oh, crap, but that's out. Not having that's hard.
Yeah. I think that's what I gotta do. I think I have to.
Okay.
Naval movement, 4 frigates. Here we go. All right.
Oh, wow.
Go ahead. 1, 3, 4. All right. So we're gonna have a naval battle here, and then those guys are just gonna hang out, right, to try and protect from there, and hopefully sink them if Jess decides to pirate.
I'm surprised, but okay, cool.
You're surprised? Mm-hmm. Why?
Of where you placed.
Why?
I mean, I can't tell you.
Okay, all right.
My
well,
action, when I discard a card, it's only Tripoli that I can raid from.
I understand, but you
Okay.
still might have a card that allows them
That's
to,
fair.
right?
That's fair.
All right, so that's, plus that I have to have all of these at peace in 1805 for the
Okay.
treaty as well.
Okay.
But trying to protect myself and diversify, right? That's the
Okay,
truth of it.
okay.
All right, so there's going to be a naval battle there. So any battle cards being played, I am not playing any battle cards. Are you? It's a naval battle. As it is, I'm rolling 6 dice. Jess is rolling 3.
No.
Okay, so 6 dice for me, 3 for Jess. Hit on 6s. 1. 1. All right, so one of mine is damaged, which will go there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of hers is killed, which is terrible that it was only 1. Goes there. I have to bug out back to Malta. Mm-hmm. Jess's turn.
Okay.
I don't think. Note. All right. Yeah. So, for what it's worth, while Jess is considering her actions, so O'Bannon here, Marine, by the way, he, because of his gallantry in the Battle of Dern here, he was presented with a Mamluk sword from Hamet, Prince Hamet, and the Mamluk sword is, ever since, I want to say around 1850, has been the sword that all Marine Corps officers wear at their side, is in honor of the Mamluk sword that was presented to him in the battle from the Battle of Dern. And let me see, it was Presley O'Bannon from the Ottoman Empire Viceroy, Prince Hamet, on December 8th, 1805. And it's been worn except from 1859 to 1875, when Marine officers were required to wear a specific Army foot officer's sword. But outside of that, it's been the Marine Corps officer's sword since then. And last thing, Marine Corps, to the best of my knowledge, is the only... is this mine?
Yeah.
Okay. Is the only non-commissioned officers, so rank from E4 on up, are allowed to wear swords as well. Not the Mamluk sword, but we have our own sword. So I am eligible to have worn a sword. So I do eventually would like to own that sword. It's not issued. It's just, but yeah. Anyway, all right. Okay. Enough about that. Sorry. Go ahead.
So the Moroccan Corsairs pirate raid with all the Corsairs from the harbor of Tangier. So that will be 2. I mean, come on, it's only 2.
Yeah, but if she rolls a 5 or a 6,
I need
twice.
Yes! Woo! Yep. The luck was with the pirates. I'm a lucky leprechaun. I now have 12 coins. We repeat, the war has ended in 1804. We're good.
So the card you got me to discard, before we get to it.
I want to know. What was it?
Where is it? Okay. General Eaton attacks Dern. So obviously, provided things had gone differently, Hamet's army was going to go here. They can only advance to Dern with this card. So it would have had to have waited till 1805, maybe 1806 to advance Dern. I had launched the Intrepid in my hand to potentially sink the frigate that's there. The treaty in 1805, get rid of all of these, have the city of Dern captured, and no frigates. Now, obviously things had to work my way, but Marine sharpshooters on land battles for 5s and 6s. I had General Eaton then for moving on to Benghazi, the assault on Tripoli, and then send in the Marines.
I had a lot to counter that.
I'm sure you did. I have no doubt that you did.
So much. I had the ability to go ahead and get some of your Arab infantry units out if you put them in. So I would have been able to counter and pull your infantry units out. Because I mean, I get this, right? And if you hadn't captured Benghazi yet and I saw you were going for it, then I could place more infantry into Benghazi to kind of start shoring myself up. I had the ability to, move your frigates back to Malta. So, and there were some storms that could have come in. So, yeah, there was a lot that I was holding on to be able to counter those moves. But luckily, I had 2 Tangier cards, actually. So, had that one failed, I just would have done this next and been able to try again. I didn't expect it to work that quickly. A little bit, just a little bit.
All right, so switch it over and let's talk about the game. Here I
don't have that. Yeah,
I got you. Sorry,
you're gonna click.
There we go. All right. So, yeah, you want to go first? You want me to?
Go ahead.
there's a lot. I mean, obviously, there's luck in the die rolls. There's luck in the draws, and all of those things can come into play and everything. But there is a fair bit of strategy here as far as knowing your deck, knowing your opponent's deck, knowing what's capable, and the fact that it's not a real big deck. There's not a ton of cards, so you can commit it to memory literally in the second game. It's really not that hard. And being able to know, well, I know that you have the potential to have those, so I need to defend against it. Just for such low rules overhead and everything, the production quality is really, really great. The historical theme obviously touches something near and dear to me. I think it's a win all the way around. I really do. Now, is it a heavy... It's not Comancheria that I played the other day, but at the same time, it's certainly enjoyable. I loved it. I thought this was great.
Yes. And honestly, I don't tend to like randomness in games, but I find the randomness in this brings it balance, so that if you do get a bunch of cards in your hand, that you're going to be able to kind of bang, 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 you know, put them all together. Doesn't mean the dice are going to go your way. I mean, we had times when in previous plays where we're rolling tons of dice and hitting one, right? And that's actually interesting and fun and like, haha, you got one out of all of that.
And possible in conflict, right? In any historical conflict, there's always, you know, hey, the 300.
There's a reason there's dice in war games.
Sure.
It makes sense that you don't know exactly how this is going to go, even though you think you know exactly how this is going to go. And then to see me have this, you know, the Tangier card where I can go and raid and I hit on 2, that's amazing. But hey, nobody was there and they were really good pirates. And this, I feel like it adds to the theme for me. And I felt like playing this, that the theme really comes through. We were reading the cards. We were making jokes about what was happening. You know, if the Swedes didn't help or help the other side, they were at IKEA. If there's, you know, things going on where, you know, we're like, oh, my people just didn't show up, whatever. So it really becomes fun in that regard. And I like that as you get to year 4, right, there's the potential that it can even end, you know, before that or by that point. But then in 1805, all the cards come back in. And now you're just like, you could have, well, other than the ones that you discarded out of the game. So you know that those super powerful ones may be gone, but there's some in there and you to remember which ones were played. And so I feel like through the course of it, it changes up as well. And so even though there's low rules overhead, there's limited number of cards that you're playing with, it's gonna change every single time based on what people are doing and what cards come out as you're going through the years.
When they come out matters.
Right. I can't take the same strategy every time. There's no going into this saying, I'm going for the gold straight off. I might have to go for the ships. It depends on what cards I have and how those balance up. And so, yeah, I think you could play this over and over and over again. I think it's a great introduction to wargaming for anyone. I'd love to play this with my kids. I think they would they'd annihilate me at it because they would all be on one side and just try to kill me. But they're really good gamers. They kill me at games. No, I'm not saying... We've taught them well. They're very, very good. But and there's 4 of them. They kind of group brain and attack. So hive mind, and they see things and they know what we're up to. But yeah, no, I really, really enjoyed this and would like to play again. And then you switch sides, right? And
no.
You can't. But that replayability of like, okay, now I'm going to play on the other side and it's asymmetrical. So there's new stuff to discover and I get to play on this side and do these things. And yeah, I think you can tell I really like this one.
I really do too. And like I said, the production quality is top notch. It's a pretty thin box. You guys can see it over Jess's head. It's smaller than your like Agricola size box. It's smaller than that. It's thinner than that. But yeah, overall, just a total win as far as I'm concerned.
Seriously.
And it's a historical theme and setting that not a lot of people probably know a lot about.
No.
Right? The First Barbary War. So there we go. All right. Well done. Congrats. All right.
Good game.
So, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Go for it.
No, you do.
Okay, like, subscribe if you enjoyed it.
Thumbs.
Consider supporting the show down there.
Yes.
Patreon.com/HCHQ. If you enjoy the content, certainly would appreciate the support. Liking it, subscribing, all that stuff. That's it for the week, probably. I have some outpatient surgery I'm going in for tomorrow morning. Jess is going to be...
I'm becoming nurse for the weekend, but if we're up to it and you're feeling good, we might surprise stream something. So hit that bell if you want to be notified, because other than being a patron, you could also go over and pledgehc.com. Then you would be notified in the super fun Slack channel that we are going live. But otherwise, you would have to hit that bell in order to be notified. So
no promises, though. We'll see how I feel.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Or maybe just stream something. I don't know.
I don't know.
See.
Maybe I'll have some fun. Yeah, you'll be, if you're bedridden, I could just come down here and do
They'd
whatever
love
I
that.
want.
Knock yourself out. All right. All right. Y'all have a great night. Social distance. Wear your masks. Be kind to one another. And I guess we'll see them next week, yeah?
Yes.
All right. Mm-hmm. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, by the way, I'm Edward.
I'm Jess.
All right. Bye, guys. Gals. Folks.
Arg.
I'm tired of losing this for my Marine Corps brethren.
I love the gold. So, I'm Irish. What did you expect? What?
You weren't digging, so we're okay. We're all right.